All right, guys, so we've talked some about Biden's racist decision to just consider black women to fill the next seat on the Supreme Court. And there's a whole lot of people kind of speaking out about this, as the majority of the American people are like, you know what? I don't really like this, right? We don't like this. We don't think that you should be nominating and appointing judges simply based off their race. And I've made the argument that, hey, I think that when you just say that we want to nominate somebody just based off their race, and you make that the criteria that eliminates a whole group of other people, I think that that's actually offensive to the people that you're trying to appease, right? Because it makes it look like that, hey, you can't achieve any of this stuff without help, without affirmative action, right? Similar to what Ted Cruz has spoke out and said about Joe Biden using this tactic.
The Democrats are so casually racist that they'll make that promise, and not only that, it ends up being insulting to African American women. There are black women who are very talented jurists who may well be the appropriate nominee, but when Biden starts out by saying he has a quota system, he diminishes the achievements of those African American women.
Yeah, so I agree with that 100%. 100% I agree with that. When you are sitting here saying that I have to nominate a black woman simply because she's black, right, and she has a vagina, you are diminishing the achievements of not only the black woman that you're nominating, because people are going to automatically think they're only there because they're black and they have a vagina, kind of like the vice president of the United States. You're also diminishing the achievements of any other black judge or anybody aspiring to be a judge, okay? You're diminishing their achievements. You're saying that you're only in your position because of your skin color, right, or what's between your pants. It's really that simple. Democrats, again, they don't understand how the hard bigotry of low expectations really works against black people, right? They claim they're trying to help black people. What they're actually really trying to do is to continue to make black people look like they're helpless and that they can't do anything without the Democrats, aka the white liberals, right? That is the way they try to make it look, okay? For real. Now, Jen Psaki was actually asked the perfect question about Biden and his whole color standard for picking a Supreme Court justice, because we've had black judges on the court before. Right now, we have Clarence Thomas. And I made the argument in one of my last videos. I was like, well, if the criteria is based off, well, we've never had a black woman on the court, then why isn't we're having a conversation about having an Asian on the bench, right? We haven't had one Asian on the Supreme Court. So wouldn't you think that because we already have a black person on the court that we should probably have an Asian now, if the whole standard is about being represented? And a reporter actually asked Jen Psaki about this, and of course she gave a non-answer. Take a look.
And then just one more on the Supreme Court. Given the president's commitment to diversify it, will he make similar pledges? Should he have another opportunity to nominate someone? For example, there's never been an Asian American justice or an LGBTQ justice. So will he make a similar pledge?
Well, I would say that about judges, or just in general, I would say that if you look at the president's record of judges, circuit court judges, lower court judges, it speaks for itself. He has had a enormous number of judges he has nominated who are people of color, who are women. He has nominated and confirmed an extraordinarily diverse bench of qualified individuals to serve on the courts, and that is certainly a priority for him. I don't have any new pledges to announce for you, but I think I would point you to his record, which speaks to his commitment to ensuring the court is more diverse, lower courts are more diverse, the higher courts are more diverse, and that is something he certainly will continue to look at as a priority.
You know why Biden doesn't have any pledges to make to the Asian community, right, in regards to getting a representative Supreme Court judge on the bench? You know why? Because the Democrats are done pandering to y'all, right? The Democrats are done pandering to the Asians, okay? They pandered to the Asians with that fake anti-Asian hate crime bill that they passed in Congress, pretending like that actually was going to do anything, okay? while at the same time not acknowledging the real issue in regards to who's committing a lot of these so-called Asian hate crimes, right? So again, they feel like, hey, we ain't really got to pander to y'all. Matter of fact, the Biden administration goes out of their way to try to screw over Asian people, right? As his administration has asked the Supreme Court to decline the Harvard affirmative action case, which is a case that Asian Americans have brought against these colleges that say that, hey, you know what? They're discriminating against us because they're making it easier for Black and Hispanic students to get in, but making it harder for us. Okay, because we're outperforming everybody. So it's harder for us to get in. We have to perform to a higher standard. Biden is actively working to try to dispel that, right? Because, hey, at the end of the day, if you're too smart, then you're considered white, right? Just like if you're conservative, then you're considered white, okay? Just like they consider Clarence Thomas to be white, right? He's a black white supremacist, according to people on the left. But Jen Psaki here, she kept discussing Biden's record, right? Kept bringing up Biden's record, okay? As if that is something to actually brag about. Because, you know, if you actually did a little bit of research, Biden's record actually reveals that this guy really isn't all that concerned about race, as he's more concerned about politics and making sure that whoever he picks aligns with the liberal ideology. And the whole race thing is just some intersectional way to throw red meat at the base. And the reason why we know is because Joe Biden actually has a history of blocking a black woman from being on the Supreme Court because she's black, right? Because Biden did not want the GOP to nominate a black woman. So he went out his way to try to block one, specifically Miss Janice Rogers Brown, who is a conservative circuit court justice. Let's actually watch this clip from Newsmax explaining more about how Biden tried to block her from reaching the Supreme Court in the past. Take a look.
What's interesting is people are looking back in time, and I'll take you back to 2005, actually, where the president
I remember it well. I was at the Department of Justice.
Okay, great. You can weigh in on this. I'll set this up for our viewers. The president being accused of hypocrisy after he filibustered the nomination of Janice Rogers Brown for the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia twice before she was finally approved in 2005 after a 2-year fight. The former California Supreme Court Justice, Judge Brown, was nominated by President George W. Bush and was seen as a potential Supreme Court pick for the 2005 opening, ultimately filled by Justice Samuel Alito. Weigh in on that, Mark, if you could, and the fact that maybe some people have forgotten this happened.
Well, Judge Brown would have been terrific. I know Judge Brown well. She's actually the chairman of our board of advisors at the New Civil Liberties Alliance. And I remember I was at the Office of Legal Policy when she was nominated. I remember helping out with the vetting the background of then Justice Brown, because she was on the California Supreme Court. And she has an amazing biography and background and is an extremely talented jurist. And yet, at that time, Senator Biden felt incumbent upon him to, as you say, to filibuster her selection to the D.C. Circuit, the second highest court, as some people call it. And not just her, but also Miguel Estrada. And emails came out that revealed the fact that the reason that Senator Biden did this and that other senators did this was because of their race. They didn't want President Bush to have the opportunity to appoint the first Hispanic male or the first African-American female to the U.S. Supreme Court. So they thought if they could keep those folks from getting elevated to the court right below that, then they could keep that from happening. So when you start playing by race the way that Senator Biden was doing and now President Biden is doing, that cuts both ways. Sometimes it might cut in favor of a candidate, and sometimes it might cut against a candidate. Either way, I think that's an unacceptable way to choose our jurists.
All right, guys, so you're saying that you heard that. Allegedly, Biden blocked a black woman from moving up in the judicial system, okay, advancing in her career because they were afraid, Democrats were afraid that the GOP might eventually put a black woman on the Supreme Court, okay? That's what they were afraid of. So, Biden today is telling you that, oh, this is long overdue. We need a black woman on the court. But again, I like I told you guys in one of my past videos about this, probably one of my first videos on this. If the black woman is not a liberal, right, or a progressive, I guarantee you that person will not be considered. While they're sitting here telling you, hey, I'm doing this because I'm pro-black woman. But the black women that don't agree with them, they don't matter, right? As if they're not black, right? Again, I guarantee you, no conservative black woman is on the list, okay? And here's the thing, you know, normally it is supposed to kind of be like, you know, the parties kind of pick, hey, you know, we want somebody that aligns with, you know, our values, right? That's who they see as the most qualified. That is their, you know, criteria for qualifications. Hey, we want somebody conservative, we want somebody liberal, whatever, right? I don't really have any problems with that because that actually aligns with policy, right? That actually aligns with politics. But when you tell me that your first criteria is race, then at that point, you got to consider all black women, right? If it's so important to have a black woman on the bench, then that should transcend politics, right? In terms of what they actually believe. It should transcend that because we needed color-based representation on the court, right? Or is it really just representation based off ideology? Color is just red meat that they throw to the base, right? That's really what it is. It's nothing but a farce. And this is why race politics, in my opinion, is so toxic. It's so toxic because this is what you get. You get people being discriminated against based off their race, right? Whether that's trying to advance a black woman, trying to keep a black woman from moving up, excluding a whole group of other people, right? Because you're trying to be woke. Like either way it goes, it's toxic, right? It's toxic. And it really does not help the people that you claim that you're trying to help. It actually just makes it look like, you know, people can't help themselves and that people aren't earning the positions that they're being put in, that it's being given to them simply based off their race or what's between their legs. Because this stuff literally has no end to it, right? Because next thing you know, after this, LGBTQ is going to say, hey, we need an LGBTQ judge. Next thing you know, they're going to say, well, we need a transgender woman on the court, right? We need a transgender woman of color. We don't have any of those. Or a transgender man of color. This stuff can continue to go on and on and on when it comes to identity politics. But the Democrats don't care because they would rather do symbolic victories like this rather than to enact real policy that's actually going to help the people that they claim, right? They're not going to pass any police reform, but hey, we'll put a black woman on the court, even though we're only going to put one up there that aligns with what, you know, what we believe, right? If she don't align with what we believe, then we don't really care about her blackness. That's all it is. People are simply being used as pawns, and the Democrats love using race in order to move the pieces on the chessboard. That's really all it is. But again, this, in my opinion, exposes what the Democrats are about. They really don't care about the things they claim they care about. They simply use it to get the masses to agree with them, right? But hey, thankfully, when it comes to this issue right here, most of the American people don't agree with this, right? And rightfully so. I think everybody can see that what he's doing is wrong, right? And it doesn't really help anybody, and it really promotes more divisiveness in this country. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.